Rod has posed a couple of questions to us to think about for our remarks this morning. And after I was looking at those questions that Rod had put to us, I really kind of wanted to focus my remarks on communication and how I communicate with my presidents. You've heard about pets, you've heard about pre-pets, you've heard about how the district talks to your presidents. I was really wanting to kind of concentrate on how I talk to the presidents after their year starts. How do I stay in touch? And not just talk about communications, but talk about making more of a personal relationship. I think one of the biggest challenges we have, one of the most important parts of what we do as AGs, is to put a face on the district. We're the local folks that can go and talk to the presidents and talk to the clubs and represent the district, but become part of their club, become part of their organization, and be accepted a little bit more by the club mates. The district governor's going to come once. They're going to see the DG once during the year. They're going to get all these emails from the district, but they're not going to have a face behind those emails. So it's kind of up to us as the local person to kind of put that face on the district and build that relationship. So when I do contact and maintain contact with my clubs and with my presidents, I really do it three ways. I do it by email, of course, and we're all going to send out emails. But if you're like me, you probably get 35 to 50 emails a day. Emails get lost. Emails get, oh, that's Rotary, I need to look that quick, and then it slides down to the bottom of the list, and I'll get back to it later today. So when I try to send out an email, I try to make it personal. When David sends out an email to the club presidents, he's going to have 100 people on that email list, with all the AGs, all the club presidents. I'm going to try to take that email and pick out just the part that I think my club needs to hear, or my president needs to hear, and focus on that in a brief email and send it directly to the president. One reason I asked Johnny yesterday to tap on that area tag when we're talking about the database, because in DACDB, that's one of the things that I use. I hit that area tab when I go in, and it gives me just my 5 presidents. I can quickly get to them to do a email just to those 5, or I can send an individual email to just that one president, and I can say, Billy, glad you were here Friday to help us run the video equipment. I really appreciate your help. Remember, I need to get that citation form back in this week so I can get it turned into the district. I can make it personalized. I can make that connection. But we all get overwhelmed with emails. I do send out emails, but a lot of times I do find that call, that personal call, is just a little bit easier. I can pick up that phone. If I've got something really important to talk with the president about, I can pick up the phone and I can say, Pete, good to see you with your grandchild last week. I know you hated to see him go back home, but oh, by the way, we need to talk about the district citation form. I need to get that in. How are we doing on that? We need to get together and talk about that. It lets me be just a little bit more personal and maybe get a little bit more results. And then the third way that we communicate, and I think one of the most important things that we get to do as an AG, and one of the fun things we get to do is the club visit. That may be a board visit. That may be a visit to the club itself. Different AGs I've talked to over the last couple of years do it differently. Some attend a lot of board meetings. My clubs in my area, I have one club that likes me to come and meet with their board. And so I do attend a board meeting with them. Their board meets right before their regular meeting, an hour before their regular meeting. And so I go in, and that club visit that month, that quarter, I will go in and sit with their board and sit through their board meeting. It lets me be a sounding board sometimes for the whole board. Other clubs don't want me at a meeting. They don't want me to come to their board meeting. Occasionally, I have attended a few board meetings with my clubs when a president had a specific issue, and he wanted me to come and talk with his board. I had a club this time. I met with them a few months ago because they're looking at corporate membership. They wanted to adopt corporate membership, and they had questions from their board members. And so we were able to sit down and talk through that with the board. But in general, my visits are to the meeting. I go and visit with the meeting, and I'm very lucky that my clubs, for the most part, are fairly informal. They don't have a big head table. I can get there early, and I can talk to the club members as they come in the door. I can introduce myself, I can talk to them, and I can get to know the club members. And I think that has helped me learn a little bit about the personality of the individual clubs and what works for that club. I've got clubs from 12 members to in the low 60s. 63 members, I think, in my club right now, somewhere around that. Very different personalities when you go from a club with 12 members to a club with 60 members. And that's allowed me to kind of let me get to know those members and build some relationships with the members. So when the president needs some support from me, I can kind of figure out which club members I need to talk to. If he's having a trouble with an issue and getting a little pushback for something he's wanting to try, it's helped me figure out, okay, who is that in that club that's probably pushing back? How can I help him, and who do I need to go talk to? And I can kind of build a relationship. And I'll give you an example. One of my smallest clubs is my smallest club. They have always turned in their foundation funds at the end of the year. They will not send the foundation money in before the end of the year. Last year, I kept talking with them. Yeah, we know we've got to send that. We need to do that. If we need to get a half of it in before the end of December, we need to do that. But you know, Tom, you know our treasurer, I shouldn't say the name. You know, our treasurer just does it that way. Halfway through the year, I finally figured out, okay, it's the treasurer I need to be talking to. It's not the president. That's a fairly informal club, so I could go in, I get to know Tommy. When I go and visit that club, I go sit at the table with Tommy. We talk about Clemson football. We talk about his hometown of Anderson. We've got to know each other a little bit. And it's a whole lot harder now for him to say, this is the way I always do it, now that we're sitting across the table talking to each other at lunch. And so this year, although he didn't get in by December, and I know he didn't, he promised me he was sending a check in January. And they're going to change the way, at least he tells me, they're going to change the way they do it and send their foundation, at least that first check in December. It's all because I had the chance to get to know him just a little bit by doing some face-to-face conversations. So I really do think, you know, from our standpoint as AGs, getting out there and meeting with the clubs and being there for them, offer the chance to, some clubs may offer you a chance to actually do the program. Don't do that often. We were talking about that yesterday with Chad. I had a club that was struggling convincing their members that membership was a problem. They asked me to come and do the program. I did a membership program for their club. So you may get that opportunity. Don't know that you can look for that opportunity, but you might get that opportunity. But really, that communication with the club, I think, is the biggest thing that we do as AGs. I'll stop.